Okay, we are rolling. We are rolling, brother. Champions of Champions boxing talk here, folks. Right, I'm going to do something different. And I've never really done this sort of thing before, but it's going to be basically little videos of how Keith Thurman can win and what he has to do, and how Manny Pacquiao can win and what he has to do when these two guys clash July 20th. We'll start with Keith Thurman for today, and I'll tell you some of the things I believe he needs to do. The main things, in my opinion, he needs to do. Number one, he needs to have a good training camp. He needs to go in there with a full tank. Not 80%, not 90%, 100%, arguably 110%. Why? Because Manny Pacquiao in recent years has gone the distance countless times over and over and over again. So it makes sense that you're going to need at least as much stamina, if not more stamina, than Keith Thurman. Point number two. With Keith Thurman needing more stamina than Manny Pacquiao, as I just said, point two is do not presume Manny Pacquiao is 40. All this talk of I am going to retire the senator, Keith Thurman needs to get that out of his head. You have to prepare for the very best version of your opponent. You have to look at the Manny Pacquiao that destroyed Ricky Hatton and Miguel Cotto. Therefore, subconsciously and consciously, you do not cut any corners in training camp. All you have to do is look at that beast in that period of time, and that will be more than enough to motivate you to stay focused. So, as I said, good training camp, and do not presume that Manny Pacquiao is 40 years old. Lennox Lewis, in his post-fight interview after fighting Mike Tyson, said that he was looking at Mike Tyson at his very best while he was preparing. And we all know the results of that fight. Number three, do not let the occasion get to you. What do I mean by that? Well, this could arguably be the biggest fight in the welterweight division, commercially, since Manny Pacquiao fought Floyd Mayweather. Not saying it's going to do anywhere near them numbers, but you can be pretty sure that it's going to do well. No doubt it will sell the MGM Grand out, and this is the first time. I know Keith Thurman has had big events, but he's never been in one this big yet. This is the first time Keith Thurman will star alongside Pacquiao in a pay-per-view event. I believe this could end up doing 1 million buys. Why? Keith Thurman has spoken really well. He's angered Manny Pacquiao, so people are presuming Manny Pacquiao is going to come in there fired up. And he's fired up a lot of fight fans who either want to see Keith Thurman take the torch or want to see him get humbled in the ring for the things he said. So Thurman has got to not let the occasion get to him. Next point, he has to be Keith Thurman. We didn't see Keith Thurman the last fight, did we? So that's a real simple one. He has to arrive being Keith Thurman. Next point. Do not rely on being one time. It's been a long time since Keith Thurman had a clean knockout. He's been getting good at getting decisions, but they've been close decisions. He said he needed 2 trainers to prepare for one punch. Get that out of your head right now. You need to be all time in this fight, not sometime. Next point. Keith Thurman needs his footwork to be at its best. He is facing, apart from himself, the best footwork of any fighter in the division not named Terence Crawford. Still, Pacquiao's feet are fast and he is good at placing them. Keith Thurman's feet must match or surpass Manny Pacquiao's come fight time. Next point. Keith Thurman must get Manny Pacquiao's respect. That's right. If Manny Pacquiao feels that he has nothing to worry about, he will literally swarm you. Ask Lucas Matisse. When Pacquiao had no respect for Lucas Matisse's power, the writing was on the wall. Keith Thurman must get Manny Pacquiao's respect. How does he do that? Well, we know Keith Thurman has a very accurate, fast right hand. We also know that actually, like Lucas Matisse, a good punch of Keith Thurman's is his left hook. If he can land that, even if he can hit Manny Pacquiao's guard, if he generates enough power to make Manny Pacquiao think, that's where he will get Manny Pacquiao's respect. Now, Manny Pacquiao does respect Keith Thurman as a champion. I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm saying the respect in the ring when the bell goes. Leonard Bundu, who fought Keith Thurman, said that when Keith Thurman was even hitting him to his arms arms were shaking. So even if you don't land, if you can make the person feel your potential power even on their arms, you may get some respect. Next point. Keith Thurman has to use the ring IQ that he says he possesses. I'm a bit confused by what he means. I know he boxes well. Maybe it could be that he uses the formula how he beat Leonard Bundu. Back foot fighting. Again, related to footwork. Related to accuracy. Related to a good jab. He must vary his jab though. Manny Pacquiao is not Leonard Bundu. Manny Pacquiao's head movement will negate the same tactic to a certain extent. Keith Thurman must find a variety of ways, and I'm sure it's within him, to jab Manny Pacquiao. He must make Manny Pacquiao reset. He can't let Manny Pacquiao fight in a succession of rhythms. So that's one aspect. Next point. Keith Thurman must be brave at times and cowardly at other times. What do I mean by that? Well, it's related to don't let the occasion get to you. He must find a way, and it's also related to getting the respect. He must find a way of making Manny Pacquiao feel his physiology, his size, his strength. This is where, for a second, he can forget that he's fighting a young Manny and presume for moments that maybe if he can put it on Manny Pacquiao in moments, he can break the older man. But Keith Thurman has to be brave enough to do that. And while he is doing that, he has to find some form of body shots, in my opinion. Why? The reason being, body shots slow footwork down. If you can slow the body, if you can break the body, you break the mind, and when the mind goes, the man goes. If Keith Thurman can slow Manny Pacquiao's feet, which is very difficult to do, then he has a tremendous opportunity to make Manny Pacquiao a much stiller target. Then Keith Thurman can continue from range. Point number 3. Do not be on, and again it's related to fighting this physiology in spurts. Do not be on the back foot too much and become seduced with a back foot game too much in this fight. Why do I say this? Boxing is about perception. Floyd Mayweather could be on the back foot till kingdom come. People associate Floyd Mayweather with being a back foot fighter and a defensive fighter. And Floyd Mayweather at the time, although he was the bigger man, he was the older man. Manny Pacquiao was 36 and Floyd Mayweather was 38. If Keith Thurman, who is apparently in his physical prime, is seen running round the ring away constantly from a nearly 41-year-old man, that might not look too good to the audience and the judges. Particularly to the audience, because the audience is what you need to have successful subsequent pay-per-views. It won't really matter as much what the judges say, because the perception the next morning will be Keith Thurman lost because he never stood his ground against Manny Pacquiao. Right? Other point. Do not waste too many shots. Do not swing. Do not get wild. Be tempted to stay steady. Reason being, the wild you get, the more open you leave yourself to Manny Pacquiao's counter shots. Do not come forward in straight lines and do not back off in the back foot sense in straight lines. Do not come in predictably. As I said, keep trying to reset Manny. Use feints. Use some feints. Fight yourself with a little bit of broken rhythm so you don't become predictable. Because Keith Thurman has long arms. He has a better reach than Manny Pacquiao. He is the bigger man. But if he becomes predictable in this fight, there could be the danger that he ends up looking like Jesse Vargas in Manny Pacquiao's fight. Once Manny Pacquiao figured out the Vargas puzzle, Jesse Vargas then was just there to be beaten. So he has to mix it up. Forward, backward, be brave, right shots, timing. Okay, and the occasion. Let's talk about that occasion. Keith Thurman, I said, didn't fight like Jeff Horn, but one thing we have to admit that Jeff Horn did do, he rose to the occasion the best way he could. He did not get seduced by the idea that he was just turning up to be knocked over. Now, I thought Jeff Horn lost the fight to Manny Pacquiao because you shouldn't win fights for just doing well. You win fights for winning fights. But you have to give Jeff Horn credit for not letting the occasion get to him. I know he was at home, but sometimes when you're at home, Keith Thurman will really be at home, there is pressure. Ricky Hatton said when he fought Juan Lascano at the Manchester Stadium years ago that he was tremendously nervous. More nervous than when he fought some of his fights in Vegas. And Ricky Hatton at times made some mistakes that night due to nerves if you watch that fight back. And he was at home. Keith Thurman needs to keep this all together. Can he do it? Well, anything's possible in boxing. Of course, a world-class fighter is dangerous, and Keith Thurman is dangerous. But we shall wait and see. In the next video, I'm going to tell you what Manny Pacquiao needs to do on certain pointers. So that's some of the pointers that Keith Thurman needs to think about, I think. What do you think? This is Champions of Champions Boxing Talk. I'm out, brother.